Hello everyone, Michael Mechanical here. I'm updating you. This block is back. As I said in the last video, if I upload it, I have no idea. Or if I even made the video. Today I've been cleaning the bores. I'm going to say a few other things, but I'm going to update you on the engine first. I'm cleaning the bores. And now I'm going to move on to cleaning out all the bolt holes and cleaning off the face, because I want everything to be clean and tidy when this goes together. Although I have been trying, I've just naturally been doing some of the wrong things, which is bad habits, you know, when you're not right in headspace and some other things. So we'll talk about that in a minute. So I've already done one piston. That's because I almost put it in and changed my mind. And the rings on them are full of rubbish on some of them. So what I'm doing is I'm rebathing them in this oil, hopefully going to get stuff out of them a little bit, and just go up and down, plunge them until all the stuff pumps all of the crud out that I can get out, because they should be clean, realistically speaking. It should just be surface dirt, nothing gone too deep into the rings and between them and potentially stuffing things up. Now, with the engine, what I did, because I got advised, please clean the cylinders, I tried to scrub them out as best as I could. There's still some crud in there, but not nearly as much, and it's rust crud, and so I can't rub it out, it won't rub off, so I ended up pulling this out and using it to help me clean those bores and get them nice and neat and tidy and whatnot. So I've had a bit of a horrible week. I feel like I'm a little bit lost for stuff, but the update is, I do not think I'll be rebuilding my turbo myself at this point in time. There's bits on the lathe that I've machined up. The turbo's back on here, but I don't know if I can show you the noise. But it's contacting the inside of the turbo housing, and that's not a good sign. It's very, very bad. So I can't drive my car until I get another turbo, which I bought a cheap Chinese turbo for now because I can't afford the $1,400 one. Once I get the $1,400 one, once I can afford it, I'm going to be putting it on this. Depending on its point in time and if I can afford it or whatever, I might risk using the pump that's on my car currently, or the other injection pump that I sort of rebuilt. I'll send that off to get rebuilt and put it on this one here. And then this block will be pretty much identical to the block that's in my car, except it needs the right gears to use the right belts to go over that assembly. It's more refined that way. So that's all coming along. I'm going to do sort of like a speed build, not recording it, but I'm just trying to build this back to where it was the last time people saw it, and should be okay from there. So that's just my brother coming home, and now I'm going to go over here and just quickly say, hey, look, these are what I've been making. Again, because I've made some and they didn't turn out so well, so I changed my method, changed the machines because of how far they're out. Like, it doesn't stand out as much here as it does on the machine, the step, and I need that step in there, a nice step in there, in order for these bits to work correctly. So I'm working on it. So the last thing I'm going to do for the video, why do I feel this way, why do I look this way? Because some people, you know, aren't as nice as we would think, or need help. And it does hurt to think, hey, someone's saying they're going to take their own life, and then afterwards you find out they're potentially just a manipulator. And it's horrible. It's horrible how I feel, because when someone said they're cutting themselves and whatnot in a message, that was really frightening. And then only to have to call, I called the police. I gave them the details that I could get on the person, and they tracked them down, made sure they were safe. They were safe. From there, They got sent off for essentially a psych evaluation, make sure that they're okay or will be okay. I don't know. Today I ended up getting a message asking, hey, did you call the police? I said yes. And I explained that this doesn't make me feel good and I don't even feel like using this anymore. And they're saying that I'm effing up their life and whatnot. I'm not doing nothing of the sort, and that's not fair on me. So, look, if you're a real person and you care about others and you want to get to know people, you should be responsible, you should be respectful, and consider how other people feel, because that is not fair. It was not fair on me, and it wouldn't be fair on anyone else. That was, in a way, I look at it now, because I got enough evidence to support the theory that they were a manipulative person. And because of that, you know, I've been left with a bit of trauma from that event, okay? And also during the week, I had issues with my dad and doing stuff on the machines. And he got upset because of mess, apparently. That was his biggest reason. But these machines do make mess. They are messy machines. You can't expect to be clean. And also because I was doing a good job on this machine with these, that he, you know, made a mess. He even damaged the fairing because he messed around and threw things out of the house, and I don't know if the scratch was there or the ding was there before, but it looks new, so I have to assume when he threw things out of the house he damaged the car. And I'll just point out what I've seen on the fairing. This big scratch here, plus this little chip in the headlight, tail light. As soon as I saw that, it's like, you know, that wasn't nice to see that at all. But you guys need to look after yourselves. Your health will always come first for you, because if you want to get to know people, right, then you should care about yourself. Because if you don't care about yourself, you're not going to care about other people, and that's the thing. And when you're in a low spot, then no one's interested in knowing you because you've already got problems. And if someone knows the best side of you, when you're at the lowest point, they will want to support you and help you. Especially if you mean enough to them. So, in a way, you could say it's really important to care about how other people feel. And make considerations. Because I'm not trying to mess up anyone else's life. In fact, I'm traumatized over that event and the events that have transpired recently. It's horrible, but here we are. I'll get over it in time. It's not easy, and it's just, you know, focus on something else, you know, like putting the engine together. And I've been tempted, my mind's been sort of tempted to just put it together and make no more videos, because I don't even know if I'll ever get around to editing those videos, because my room is a pigsty in the sense that I have too much stuff and not enough places to organise things. And with all the things I've got out, it's for so many different tasks that it's really hard to organise and manage everything in a small environment. The bigger the environment, the more manageable things become, because of all that paperwork is for different tasks. Like, some might be for all this engineering stuff, which is why I've been doing some stuff out here. All this is for pretty much engineering. When you pile this stuff up with game development, when you pile it up with your tax documentation and businessy based stuff, everything piles up in one corner and makes things harder. And when you need folders of information, it does get difficult to manage. And then when you have to pile things up and you have to go through things, you eventually don't get around to everything. It's really stressful to have a small environment. Even this shed feels a bit small for what's in it. If you had the floor space, it'd be easier, and that's what's happened over here. We've got a bit more floor space. It'd be nice if there was enough floor space that each machine could be set up in every part of the shed without having to be moved around, and it could just be left there. You go to it, you use it, you clean up, and you're done. Not this, you got to pull it out, set it up, use it, clean up, put it away. Because this is easy enough to do, but it's just It's impractical to do that because it takes up so much time. And when you don't have enough time for other things, like when you're working during the week, it's just too hard to get around to cleaning things all the time. And when you want to be productive and get a lot of things done, it doesn't work. There is a lot of things to get done around here, and having these machines not set up properly all the time, ready to use, just makes things much harder. Look, even this machine can't be moved. And this toolbox is in the wrong spot. This should be over there where it used to be. But things have changed and the shed is, a pigsty. And it's not my shed. I acknowledge that this is not my shed. I acknowledge that a lot of this mess is actually not mine. And I refuse to be put down for someone else's mess. But I will take accountability for the messes I do create, such as this corner here. And I have been using it recently. This is all my stuff that I've been working on recently. This is Dad's little mess, and he wants things as clean as this, but you can't always have it that clean. Like, for example, here's this mess. This is all just one little job. But when I come over here, there's all these tools, all these cans and things. There's things that could go away, yes, but they've all been put there because they're all ready to do jobs on this and do them. But a lot of these, not everything, but some of this stuff can be put away. Like the paint cans could be put away, potentially if there's no more use for them. These drivers could potentially be put away, depending on if there's any more surfaces to work with. These drivers, there's some stuff that can go away. And then the toolbox here, that can stay there because there's stuff in there that I do need. But there's a lot of stuff that could go away. I'm going to need this eventually, I'm going to need these eventually, parts eventually. There's a lot of stuff here that I'm going to need eventually. And that's why it's all there. If I put it all away, there's a lot of things to try and find afterwards, which is why you need lots of space to work with. That's just one part of a car. If you had to pull the whole thing to bits and pieces and lay it out across the floor, it could take up this whole floor space, potentially even less than this whole floor space. Dad said the V8 down the back, it took up half the shed when the shed was empty. Now, I'm going to point out the messes. They're not all mine. That's all pretty much Dad's, and even this stuff is Dad's. He threw it all out. A couple of things in here from my stuff, like for warranty reasons, you keep boxes and whatnot. Dad brought home $1,400 worth of expense to repair, and I'm telling him get rid of it. He won't. He just brings home and hoards stuff, and it just makes things difficult. So my dad has some bad habits, and I don't want that put on me. The drill down the bottom of the box was originally mine. I threw that in a trailer long ago because it was going to cost me more than if I was to buy a brand new drill with the same power and amperage and whatnot, or even better amperage and better batteries and better stuff like brushless. I don't know if that's brushless or not. I think it's a brush motor. But I'm smart. I threw it out because it served its purpose. It lived a life, and while we did tinker with it to fix it up a little bit, the batteries are dead. $400 to rebuild them or replace them. They'll have a better lifespan because they're 2.5 amp hours rather than 1.5 amp hours, and the 24 volts, and that's something you can get the same effectiveness out of an 18 volt drill sort of thing. It just seems impractical to have that voltage drill if you can't even use it for what its intention is or whatever. I don't know how to describe it. The thing is, I would rather buy a brand new drill and throw out the old stuff. My drill had all the rubbers leaking oil. Like, for some reason, all the oil came out of those rubbers and was horrible to handle those drills. My drill, anyway. And so that's why one of the biggest reasons why I threw it out. Like, hey, this is irreparable. I can't fix these rubbers that are, oiling everything, getting oil out. And then there's the batteries and stuff. So 2 problems. I don't want to handle this drill because it's always oily for some weird reason because of the rubbers are weird. And then these batteries are dead. Money. And I'm not going to spend $400 on my battery drill just to get it running again, because it cost me $160 or $120 when I bought it at the time I bought it, years and years ago. It's like 10 years old or something, I don't know. Anyway, that's my video for today. I think I should leave it at that. I'm a bit emotional at the moment, so I'm going to focus on this. I'm going to focus on work and jobs and whatnot. I'm not going to give up, and I'm going to do the best I can. But guys, it's very important you realize this. If anyone ever says anything to do with threatening to take their own life or anything, it should always be taken seriously. Because what if someone's actually doing that? This is really stupid when someone does say they're going to take their own life, and then afterwards it's like as if it was just a joke. It's not a joke. Life is not a joke. Take things seriously. Be serious. Don't be manipulative, because that's not fair. Because there are some really great people out there and they don't deserve it. So take care of yourself, guys. And if you do work on cars, try to do work properly, because it will save you money. It will make things last longer. And I know no one can always say, hey, I know everything that's wrong with this, because I can personally speak from experience that it took me a long time to realize that, you know, there's things wrong with my motor that I can't fix now because of the expense. And then there's things that it's like, it still runs fine. I don't think this is causing a problem. I don't know. I don't know what those problems would have caused. And I know from my experience driving it that there was points where it had problems. And I don't know if this is going to improve it or not. So it's another learning experience. But if you want the optimal lifetime out of your vehicle, do the jobs properly. That is the best way to get the most life out of your vehicle. So anyway, take care everyone. Look after yourselves. Look after everyone else around you. But always remember, you're number one. Because you're important. So take care of your own health, your own safety. And that it will in turn help you to look after other people's health. Take care everyone. Michael the Mechanical out.